What is up, babes? Good morning. Uh, I am done with my fight camp for fighting, and I have a fight 1 week from tomorrow, which means I am not eating nearly as much as I want, but I look excellent. Um, Also, that being said, please like and subscribe. Mainly subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers, which might not be a big deal for many, but it's something I'm really looking to achieve before I move over to England, overseas. Um, but anyway, let's get into the chapter. I'll say something that you might not want to admit, but this chapter kind of bored me. Definitely tying up loose ends, but that's really all it did besides making Harold look like more of a giant idiot, no pun intended. Um, I get it though. I think that he's a great character in terms of what he was able to accomplish, but his demise and everything that happened to him was written on the wall. Well before it happened, he should have known something was coming. Just because of how they played them before. If you go back and read the whole flashback, it's just kind of like, dude, like, can't you put two and two together? But he's always played the role of the martyr, and that's kind of what he's doing here. He talks with Jaguar about Ida dying, um, and how he truly felt emotion there, and how that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And I agree because that did make him and changed him. Because if you look at the beginning of the flashback, he's just a menace to society. He's carrying on what all the other giants are doing, but then he realized that there was more to life than that, which made him make a lot of interesting decisions, as we see from this chapter, making agreements, contracts, and being the dog of the government. And obviously, they're hiding a lot from him, but at the end of the day, he got played pretty hard. Pretty hard. They used him to get giants into the military, which they accomplished. And then they were looking to start, like I was talking about last chapter, an entire giant force of his species. Um, he is actually shown Mu, which I don't even really know if they needed to do, but I guess that's probably part of the whole contract situation. So now that he has a deep sea contract, as we see from the updated tattoo, he is now, under the wing, under the control of Emu, as we see from the end of this chapter. And although he was like, I'm going to be doing everything for you still, like at the end of the day, like we're still getting this done to make Elbaf a member nation, which he was able to accomplish. But then everyone thinks that he's going crazy because he's talking to nobody and he's slowly becoming darker and darker. And we're seeing that the cost of immortality, which tells us a lot about the other contracts, God Knights, Gorosei, and kind of who they're under control by, who he's able to fuse with, which it doesn't seem like we need much for that. Godsteel was still able to, as we see with Gunko in the present time, Emu is still able to take over the bodies of those in Godsteel, transform those who have no contract at all with him or her. And yeah, so he's talking to nobody. The guards think that he's going crazy. He's like, we need to call him at once. I've now noticed that I'm a slave. I no longer have autonomy over my own body, and gaining immortality and power came at a cost that I was not willing to pay, which is total and absolute obedience to somebody that I don't really know. And he's like, no, we're going to make Elbaf into a nation of warriors. And he's like, but the whole reason I did this was to stop the violence, to end the history of historic violence and warrior race that the giants are. And so he's calling the other giants and guards in here to kill him. And I think this is the end of the flashback. I mean, they could throw us a whatever chapter, but it seems like this is it. It seems like this kind of completes the entire loop throughout the years. Oda did a very nice job cleaning this up. Doesn't mean the chapter was super entertaining, but he's like, please call my sons before it's too late. And I don't know if him going into that pentagram summons him to a different area, which we've seen before, or is going to turn him dark and have him start to reverse his own people and make all the giants evil. But either way, I feel like everyone's fumbling here. I feel like it's a little bit of a cheap excuse. I mean, obviously we see Shanks's arm being bitten off. Now it makes sense. Now it's like, oh, he's releasing this contract so Emo has no control over him anymore. There's rumors going around about Shamrock also being a good guy, but playing a double agent because Emu is in firm control of him. And whatever he's doing here, I just feel like Emu could have done a way better job of setting it up to where he could either reverse every giant over to being on his side, or at the very least put him in a position where he would want to do it more. Obviously, he should have known, or she should have known, that Harold wouldn't subject his people to this willingly. So then, if she's going to force him to do it against his will, this seemed like a weak attempt. It just did. I mean, maybe Emu didn't understand the lengths that Harold would go, which is literally going to be him ordering these people to kill him in front of his son, which cost them their lives as well. But it just seemed like Emu fumbled the bag here too, in terms of getting more giants on her side because of how valuable they are. And she was able to get some in the military that are willing, but at the end of the day, I don't think this was done smoothly at all. And we see a little over a decade later, and we're still struggling to get what I assume to get giant blood and giant people on the side of the Navy or the world government. So calling everybody Jarul, they're releasing Loki, and they're like, we need the king's ordering your presence immediately. And then they walk in on him ordering these people to kill him. Obviously they didn't know that. And yeah, that was the chapter. That rounded it out. I think that's kind of how this chapter started. There might have been a different flashback that showed that when they were entering in the castle, when Shamrock and Gunko were wandering around. But now we're back to the present. We're back to the present where Scopper is beat up. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to help. Gunko has been taken over. Dory and Bragi and some of the giants have also been Dommy Riverside. And it's a real problem. It's a real problem on how they're going to be able to fix this, what they're going to have to do, how Nika and the power of the Gum Gum are able to overcome this, and how much help or fodder the rest of the crew is going to look like. But we're getting back into it finally. No video next week, but hopefully after that, during Christmas time, I will be seeing and talking with you then. Till then, people, enjoy yourselves. Shorter video. Please subscribe, like I said, and have yourself a great day. Stay warm.